The mystic led Krystos to a hidden chamber deep within the temple, a place untouched by time. The air grew colder, sharper, as though the very atmosphere demanded reverence. Before them stood an ancient altar, carved from obsidian and inlaid with glowing hieroglyphs. At its center was a translucent veil, shimmering like liquid starlight. "This is the Veil of Ma'at," the mystic whispered. Their voice reverberated, as if the room itself was listening. "Few have crossed it and returned whole. It reflects not only your truth, but the weight of your heart." Krystos frowned, his eyes narrowing. "What happens if I fail?" The mystic gestured to the hieroglyphs on the altar. "Those who lose themselves to the chaos become bound to the veil, their essence feeding its light for eternity. Your balance is your lifeline, Krystos. Without it, the veil will consume you." The words lingered in the air, heavy with implication. Krystos took a step closer, the shimmering veil casting fragmented reflections of himself, faces filled with fear, rage, and sorrow. "How do I do this?" The mystic's androgynous features softened, but their gaze remained unyielding. "By surrendering your need for control. The veil will test you. It will show you truths you've hidden from yourself. Trust the process." Krystos reached out, the tips of his fingers brushing against the veil. Instantly he was pulled in. Krystos found himself standing in a vast desert under a blood-red sky. The ground cracked beneath his feet, jagged and dry. In the distance, a figure approached. A man and a woman, hand in hand. His heart tightened as he recognized them. His parents. "Why did you leave me?" Krystos shouted, his voice breaking. The figures didn't answer. Instead, they turned to ash, scattering in the wind. Behind him, laughter echoed, a cruel, mocking sound. He turned to see himself, twisted and monstrous, with blazing eyes and a voice like thunder. "You think you're strong enough to bear this? You're just a scared child pretending to be more." Krystos clenched his fists. "You're wrong, You're nothing!" The twisted reflection roared, lunging at him. The impact knocked Krystos to the ground, the world around him fracturing like shattered glass. The reflection loomed over him, pressing a hand to his chest. "Your chaos will devour you." Struggling for breath, Krystos reached inside himself, searching for something to hold on to. Then faintly, he remembered the mystic's words. "Surrender your need for control." Closing his eyes, Krystos stopped fighting. He let the chaos wash over him. The grief, the anger, the fear. He felt himself falling, but instead of despair, there was something else. Stillness. He let go, and in that moment the chaos began to recede. When he opened his eyes, the desert had transformed into a lush oasis. The twisted reflection was gone, replaced by a mirror image of himself, calm and composed. "You are me," Krystos said, his voice steady. "But I am more than my pain. I am the sum of all my parts." The reflection smiled, its edges blurring until it faded into light. The oasis dissolved, and Krystos stood once more in the chamber before the Veil of Ma'at. The mystic watched as Krystos stepped away from the veil, his face illuminated by a newfound clarity. In his hand, he held a golden feather that pulsed with light. "You crossed the veil," the mystic said, their voice tinged with awe. "And you returned whole. Few achieve such a feat." Krystos glanced at the feather, its warmth grounding him. "I don't feel whole," he admitted, "but I feel balanced, like I can move forward." The mystic placed a hand on his shoulder, their gaze piercing. "Balance is the foundation, not the finish line. The journey continues, but now you are prepared." As Krystos turned to leave the chamber, the golden feather in hand, he felt a quiet strength stirring within him. The storm inside him had not disappeared, but for the first time he understood how to weather it. And somewhere beyond the veil, a presence stirred, something ancient and malevolent, watching, waiting.
It's in my bloodline, yeah. I was born with it.